America's newest true crime comedy podcast. Death and Entertainment starts now.
The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Live from Los Angeles.
Hooah! Here we go!
This is exciting, isn't it?
We'll do it live. We'll do it live! Fuck it!
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
What's going on? Yeah. We're just doing some Jerry wrangling over here.
Jerry wrangling.
Making sure the pup goes back to whence he came.
The pup is back. Oh, Lordy. All right, and we're going to make it small like a fall day.
Yeah, nice. We got a little candle action going. How's everybody's Valentine's Day?
Oh, happy Valentine's Day. Hope you got the right gift.
Hey, hope you got the right gal or guy. Time will tell.
Or whatever.
I have a dog.
Yeah. Jeff is catching his first die stream. What's up, Jeff?
What up, Jeff?
Coming from Diepod. Okay, bud. Gustav said, like a good Jew, making brisket for the wife on Valentine's Day, like a bad Jew listening to you. Oh, what's up, Tiff? What's up, Shannon? Good to see you all. Y'all ready for David Lynch Part 2?
David Lynch Part 2.
Yeah.
David Lynch Part 2.
All right.
Alejandro, do you want to move over a little bit?
Sure.
There we go. I think that's more.
I like to move it.
I do want to be close to you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Speaking of my Jewish friend. So Alejandro is Jewish, but he doesn't stress it enough.
I'm Jewish, except that I'm not.
Oh, my God.
Buddy, we got to make it in this business.
All right, fine. I'll be Jewish for you.
Yes. Thank you.
But a lot of people have thought that, though, through the years. So.
Oh, boy.
Your mother is Jewish?
No.
What?
Is your father Jewish?
No. I went to CCD and Catholic Mass every Sunday.
Oh.
Well, you're Jewish. You already act like it.
Jeff said,
Thank you.
Jew for pay.
Yes, please.
This is like when Jason Biggs was hired to do the movie Anything Else.
Yeah.
Woody Allen assumed he was Jewish. So he's like, oh, you taking off for the holiday? And Jason Biggs is like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm actually not Jewish. And Woody's like, yeah, good one.
That's hilarious.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Lordy.
let's see if anybody's on Patreon commenting over there. We got to get them over here.
Are we on, we doing this on YouTube?
We're on YouTube right now, yep.
Sweet.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Right.
Also, for the OK Bud fans out there, hopefully there's a large crossover. We're going to be releasing the episodes 2 weeks after they're live on the OK Bud YouTube page.
Uh-huh.
So follow that if you haven't followed that yet, because it's about to get some hot action.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Right. Oh, why orgasms are good for your health.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Valentine's Day.
So that's good.
We're getting a little healthier.
if you are a quarter of the men struggle to orgasm during penetrative sex. Well, 50. Okay, well, that's not that. What exactly is an orgasm? Yes. What's the good stuff? Oh, dopamine. It releases dopamine.
All right.
I don't even know where that.
I
Get
mean,
that.
How much dopamine is in that?
Well, you're going to want a lot of that.
All right, we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready when you guys are.
Okay.
I'll stop reading about that.
Stop reading about orgasms.
Orgasms on this fine Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Go to Texas Roadhouse, get your bouquet of bread
Yeah.
They have a bouquet of bread.
for
Yes,
$5.
Oh my
And
god!
it's amazing looking.
There's
Is
one
there
like
one-
50 miles away.
I
was
was
like,
gonna
"God damn,
say."
we should all go.
There's not one in Van Nuys or something.
I wish.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
they're little buns, they're little bread buns.
Yeah.
that sounds
Cinnamon butter. Oh,
delicious.
Those things are great. I can't say the steak is very good.
yeah, yeah.
Well, you don't go there for the steak.
You go there for the bread, carbo load.
All right. David Lynch Part 2. Let's do it.
Live from Los Angeles.
911, what is your emergency?
Here in Hollywood now.
2 counts of murder.
Injury and death.
Shocking new details.
That has stunned the entertainment world.
This makes me a little nervous.
The hair stood up on my arms.
Just like in the movies.
What do you call this thing anyway? Death.
In
Entertainment.
The email?
No, there's a link in the document.
Ooh.
Lime in the coconut.
Getting in the mood.
I hate that song.
Yeah, you don't like Nielsen?
It gets stuck in my head.
Put the lime
In the coconut. Also, why would you put the lime and coconut? Does that go together?
I mean, it must.
I don't lime and coconut.
That's why he's singing about it.
Well, just because you sing about it. I mean, think about.
But I would go from the document
Yeah, you
itself.
sent it to me in the email.
Oh yeah,
I'm saying.
however you opened it last week.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast.
Do I share it again? Or
Valentine's Day is a great day to find out the person you have a crush on is dating somebody and they're in love. Oh my God! And I'm more handsome. I'm more handsome than that guy.
and go down to Lost Highway.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I'm happy that they are in love.
And then that pink link there.
Okay, we got a new intro here. I'm going to download it and put it in the thing.
It's a new
And then we'll be
day.
ready to go.
Yes, it is. Any New Day fans out there? Wrestling.
Wrestling? You got y'all like wrestling?
New Day has turned heel, which I love because I love them.
Boom, 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 boom. Oxytocin, Shannon is saying, yes.
Yes, for the orgasms.
Yes, that's the bonding chemical. I used to think, we thought when my son came out, he was like so beautiful from the start. He was not. We look back at his old pictures and we're like, oh my God. But that
What are you talking about?
that's oxytocin.
Well, all
hilarious.
babies look
Came out
a
looking
little.
like a slug.
No, he was cute.
Babies
I saw
look
the
weird
pictures.
until
The-
they become a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. When they maybe I didn't see him when he was first.
Yeah, first one he had a cone head. Oh God, it was rough. It was rough.
That's hilarious. A cone head only a father could love.
Yes, he is adorable now. Thank Christ.
He is.
Cutest little kid in the world now.
He's got that perfect fat face.
Yep.
Got his little rolls.
Log lady. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll put that in, and then we'll get this show on the road.
I mean, it's just a clip. It's not like
Oh.
it's not a new intro for
Oh.
the show.
I thought you said you had a new intro. To
No,
the show.
I added our intro after the clip that opens this episode. That's all. But that's fine. It's not gonna hurt anything having it there.
You said you wanted to play it.
Well, yeah, but I want to play it like we play any clip on this episode. That's all.
Yeah.
It's gonna go real great. No, it will be.
Doopity-dee-boo. Yes, we are on California time. You're not late.
No, we're a bit late.
We're a bit late. We're getting, but it's going to be worth it. always going to be worth
You can always just play the clip.
I know.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just do this then. Dee bitty dee dee. She's not moving. Is that how it's supposed to go?
Yeah. It's just an intro. Oh, I think it's on mute.
No, it's pushed all the way up. Oh, it might be on mute.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Log lady. Log.
Welcome back to Death and Entertainment. I am known as the Log Lady. There is a story behind that. There are many stories in Hollywood. Some of them are sad, some funny. Some of them are stories of madness, of violence. Some are ordinary, yet they all have about them a sense of mystery, the mystery of life. Sometimes the mystery of death, the mystery of David Lynch. And now our story continues until it concludes. It has been a pleasure speaking to you.
Ooh.
Live from Los Angeles.
911, what is your emergency?
Here in Hollywood now.
2 counts of murder.
Injury and death.
Oh my God! Shocking new details.
That has stunned the entertainment world.
This makes me a little nervous.
The hair stood up on my arms.
Just like in the movies.
What do you call this thing anyway? Death.
In entertainment.
Greetings, Deado Universe.
Hi there.
Hope you had a great Valentine's Day. What's going on, everybody? My name's Kyle Plouffe.
I'm Alejandro Dowling.
I'm Ben Kissel. Make sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/diebud. Okay, Bud and Death and Entertainment have joined forces to give you guys some amazing content. And today's episode, we are on David Lynch, Part 2.
Yeah.
If you thought we covered everything about David Lynch in Part 1, you are dead wrong.
I don't think they did, because it's Part 1. Because then there would be no reason for to call it Part 1.
They might have been stuck in the mud hole and they didn't hear that the Part 2 was coming.
Oh, could be. Yeah. Hope everyone enjoyed playing in mud on this Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And without further ado, let's do Part 2.
Okay, where did we leave off?
I think we left off with Twin Peaks, killing somebody.
The show killed somebody?
Well, didn't one of the guys die?
Yes.
That was the last thing I think we talked about.
We went through
Then the show died.
Yes.
The show died and the movie tanked.
Because they killed Laura Palmer halfway through the second season.
Yep.
And people are like, what's the point of the show anymore?
Big mistake.
That was a mistake.
And then we went over a couple of actors from the Twin Peaks universe that tragically died. And we have more of that today.
Oh,
Ooh.
good. Great.
So you guys actually mentioned something about wouldn't it be wild if David Lynch had done a sitcom?
Yes.
Well, he actually did do a sitcom.
Get out of town.
Yeah, he did it in 1992, and it only lasted a few episodes.
Oh,
What was that called?
It was behind the scenes at a TV station.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah, I'm looking up the name right now. I forget the name exactly, but it was like a comedy, straight up comedy, like Screwball.
Wow.
On the Air, it's called.
That's very interesting. I think that show became news radio.
Right.
They were looking for a behind the scenes type show. And they went to David Lynch, and then they're like, David, most of the people are just in the bathroom the whole time. It's like, yeah, that's where all the good stuff happens.
Yeah.
So once again, he was ahead of the curve because he had a show that would be developed probably as something like news radio later.
Yes, R.I.P. Phil Hartman.
Oh, yeah. So the rest of the 90s, he kind of laid low for the most part until 1997 when Lost Highway was released. And that is, what a movie.
Yeah.
It's about a saxophonist who's accused of murdering his wife. And while he's on death row, he morphs into a completely different person who's this mechanic. And then as the movie continues, their paths cross. And apparently this was inspired by the OJ trial.
What?
Which
Really?
you've seen the movie, right?
Yeah.
Did you get any feeling of OJ from it?
Not quite.
Well, I mean, you got a murder. You got someone murdered their loved one.
Yeah.
Not that OJ loved Nicole Brown. That was a perversion of love.
Yes.
Loosely based, I would say.
I think he also just says stuff in interviews.
Yeah, he
Right.
just
I
makes
really
shit up.
do, because I was watching a lot of the interviews, the one where he ate the woman's panties, which is pretty fantastic. And I do think he just kind of, I don't want to say the word trolls because that's disgusting now and it's a gross term done by gross people.
Playful.
He playfully,
Yeah.
he's constantly pulling people's legs. I don't know where the truth is with the guy.
Yeah.
And if you dared ask him what anything means in one of his movies, he would not answer the question.
Right.
Or if you would say, I think that Twin Peaks is about youth and the dangers of, love and high school and blah, blah, blah. And,
Small town drama.
yeah. And he would go, no.
Good to see you, Roger.
Oh, yeah. That's a great clip. Kyle's referring to this clip where Roger Ebert is on the red carpet at the Oscars and Lynch comes up to him. And Roger Ebert famously hated all of Lynch's movies.
Roger Ebert was an asshole.
Well, no, he
wasn't. He really was.
I like Roger Ebert.
Oh,
still.
my God.
I grew up reading his reviews, watching the show, but he did like The Straight Story and everything after that.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a funny encounter because what did he say? I love movies that refuse to end.
Refuse to end, yeah. And he goes, good to see you, Roger. That movie left everybody's jaws on the floor. Ebert's was the only one that stayed there.
Yeah, eventually it definitely fell on the floor, but that was because of throat cancer.
Yeah, that's brutal.
R.I.P. Roger Ebert.
Yes.
And he also booed Wild at Heart at Cannes about a decade earlier.
Yeah, that's the thing. Roger Ebert, he ruined people's careers for fun.
That's not nice.
Well, he inexplicably did not like David Lynch, and he was the only critic.
I'm a Siskel guy. I'm a Siskel guy. All right. You heard it here first.
Lost Highway, though, that's a tough film. It's got everything you want, except somehow it does not fully come together as well as his best work, in my opinion.
Right.
It's Lynch in a blender. Mm-hmm. Hyper stylized art film with all the usual themes. One of the best soundtracks ever.
Yes.
9 Inch Nails, David Bowie, Rammstein, Manson.
Yeah.
Incidentally, Lynch once called Rammstein his favorite band.
Wow.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he was a super fan.
Imagine seeing him in the front row of a Rammstein concert. His hair being singed.
Yes.
Play Du hast.
This is great. Well, that actually makes sense because if you think of like the complete opposite of Bob Dylan, Bob Dylan's concert made him so upset that he packed up and moved away from his friends.
True.
So,
yeah, that's a good point.
Rammstein, that's surprising, but also not.
Yeah.
Lost Highway actually has a lot of characters from the Die universe. We got Natasha Gregson Wagner, Daddy Wagner's sort of daughter,
Hanger on.
who thinks he's innocent.
Yeah.
And we have the last screen roles of Jack Nance, who we're going to talk about in a second. Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
His last appearance in cinema.
Wow.
And then, of course, Mr. Robert Blake.
Ooh.
Yes.
And why don't we watch? This is one of the best scenes ever. The movie is not Lynch's ultimate masterpiece, but this scene is.
Yeah, this scene's great.
We've met before, haven't we?
I don't think so. Where was it you think we met?
At your house, don't you remember? As a matter of fact, I'm there right now. Call me. I told you I was here. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
No way a guy like that could murder his wife.
No.
No way. Oh my God, that's a creepy scene.
Yeah.
And I read that he's going for dream logic. Dream logic with that movie.
Okay.
So 1 minute it's a normal party,
Right.
funk music playing, and then suddenly the soundtrack turns to ominous drones, and there's this mysterious guy, and it really does resemble some kind of nightmare you're having.
Absolutely. He nailed that.
So if you are looking for some sort of explanation for
Yeah.
David Lynch's movies, that is one way to look at it.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter to dig that deeper into the surface of it.
Okay.
So let's talk about Robert Blake for a second. We did a whole episode on him.
Yep.
Kyle, what do you have to say about this?
I mean, Ben doesn't like when I say people are guilty when there's been a trial and they've been proven innocent.
We have a court of law in this country.
I think, good actor, but complete lunatic. The fact that he went on Larry King's show and just completely went unhinged and was like screaming at him, ready to fight him. It was just a little too much.
Well, you have to understand that's after years of people thinking he's a murderer.
So you killed your wife, correct?
So he's all pent up. Larry, I told you not to speak of that.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, Larry's like, that's why we brought you on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? There's no reason for you to be here except for this whole like murder thing.
He wanted to talk about like Little Rascals because he was on Little Rascals.
Hey, now that's a fantastic show full of innocence, youth, street kart racing.
Almost no innocence on the show, actually. We're going to be covering that
Okay.
very soon.
Well, fantastic. Let's just ruin everything.
Yeah, so Bonnie Lee Bakley was his wife, and she was gunned down after they ate at Vitello's in 2001.
Yeah. He left his gun at the table, went back to get his gun. He came back. She was already shot. He ran home, left her there. He's like, we got robbed. But he didn't know they got robbed because he wasn't there. And he's
Right.
like, I found her. She must have been getting robbed. And yeah.
Innocent in the court of law.
True.
Or at least not guilty.
Yeah, exactly. There's a difference.
There is a big difference.
Yeah.
But he died too. He died recently
He did.
in, I want to say, 2023.
Oh, okay.
So not a bad last movie to have, Lost Highway.
Yeah.
So that was his last work, though, 1997.
Yep.
Even though he just died.
Yeah.
Wow.
No one would hire him after the trial.
Yeah.
Come on. What's murder amongst Hollywood friends?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I want to get into the other guy whose last appearance it was is Jack Nance. Another episode we've done.
Yes.
And so he had a bad final go of it.
Yeah.
The whole, basically, after Twin Peaks onward is really bad for Jack Nance.
Yeah. He was at Meatballs 4.
Right?
What?
And then he got punched in the head and got knocked out at Winchell's and died.
Yeah.
Getting a coffee.
I didn't know there was 4 meatballs.
Yeah.
That's the shocking part.
Yeah, the getting punched in the head thing, that happens.
Yeah.
You know who was his co-star in Meatballs 4?
No.
Corey Feldman.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, and I actually spoke to the director of it because he was presenting Repossessed with Leslie Nielsen
That movie is amazing.
at the New Beverly. And beforehand, he was hanging outside, and we had just done the Jack Nance episode a couple months before, so I started talking to him about it.
So the director of Repossessed directed Meatballs 4?
Exactly. Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah, I took the opportunity at that screening to meet with him. Bob Logan is his name.
Was he happy when you brought up Meatballs 4?
Oh, yeah. He was happy when I brought up Jack Nance. And actually, I said I was going to email him to come on and talk about that experience.
Yes.
And I still haven't emailed him.
We
so-
got to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do that. That would be awesome.
But as we covered in that episode on the set of Meatballs 4, Jack Nance gets a call from his wife, Kelly Van Dyke, Jerry Van Dyke's daughter.
Okay.
Whom he was seeing.
He's still going strong, by the way.
No, he's gone.
Oh, I'm thinking of
Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke, yeah.
He is going strong.
Dick Van Dyke is going strong.
Yeah.
And then she said she's going to kill herself over the phone. And then there was a big storm and the line cut out. And so that's where it ended for Jack Nance, the phone call that she was going to kill herself because he was on set and she was in L.A.
Meanwhile, she's just surrounded by big-titted women and a bunch of cock jokes.
And Corey Feldman.
He's like, honey, you know I'm in a very serious acting role right now. I'm starring in Meatballs 4. This is going to be huge for us and our family. Don't commit suicide now.
And then she did.
Oh.
Ooh, boy.
And then he had to finish the movie.
Damn.
And on the episode we watched a scene from it. And if you can believe it, it was a very emotional scene.
Yeah, he was crying.
Yeah, because it was after he had found out, so he channeled all his emotions.
Yeah.
And after that, he had all kinds of ailments, really bad decline. And he had one more appearance in Lost Highway. And David Lynch did a reunion with him and his ex-wife, Catherine Coulson, who actually plays the log lady. She used to be married to Jack Nance. And so while making Lost Highway on a featurette, you can see it on YouTube, they have a little reunion.
Oh, no kidding.
And that was the last time they saw each other because Jack Nance on December 29th, 1996, went to get coffee, as Kyle mentioned, at Winchell's Donuts in South Pasadena around 4 a.m. And the story goes that he got into a scuffle with a couple of delinquent kids who were just hanging around looking for trouble.
Right, at the donut shop at 4 a.m.
Yeah, and then they beat him up.
Yeah.
And so that day he was pretty badly bruised and his friends were worried about him and one of them drove him home after they had dinner and he died in the night.
Tell me he had meatballs for dinner.
4 of them.
At no point during these kids beating him up did they look at him and be like, that's Jack Nance from Meatballs 4. What the hell are we doing?
We will never know what happened at Winchell's. There's no footage of it. There's no witnesses.
Yeah.
It's only the story that he told his friends.
And then he died
in his sleep
that day.
It happened around 4 a.m. He died less than 24 hours later in the night.
Yeah.
Wow.
When he went to bed. So it's very mysterious. It's kind of a fitting end for this guy. You know, he was the star of Eraserhead. Always had an air of mystery around him, but fantastic screen presence as you saw last week in Wild at Heart, where he's barking.
Yes, absolutely.
My dog.
Yeah.
Wow, what a way to go.
Yeah. And here's a clip of David Lynch actually talking about the incident.
I think in this donut shop, you can only kind of, imagine what goes on. But he just went in probably to get some coffee. Maybe he didn't like, it wasn't really an eater. He loved to drink coffee. And so you could see him in this donut shop, and you could see these guys there, and Jack, in his surly thing, and he could be kind of verbally abusive. So he might have said something. And then that was it, and he just got hit really hard.
He doesn't mix words, Yeah, wow. Not much of an eater though. That's fascinating.
He was a drinker.
Oh.
At the same time that Lynch quit drinking and found transcendental meditation, remember during the making of Eraserhead, Jack Nance went the opposite way.
Oh.
He turned into a vicious drunkard.
I guess that does bring you to a coffee shop at 4 a.m. or a donut joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
He was hungry. Maybe he finally wanted to eat something.
Maybe.
Didn't get his chance.
I mean, I think the donut shops in Los Angeles are all a ruse. There's an undercover child operation going on or something because no one's fat here. And then every corner, there's like, have some donuts.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's eating them.
I'm eating them. For everybody. You know what?
All skinny and
I know, I hate it.
I don't get it.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is hamburgers are really popular here too.
Huge.
Yeah.
And who's eating them besides me?
I think we're eating for like 5 people.
Yeah, exactly. I do have one theory before we move on though about this incident at Winchell's. I think that they asked Jack if he wanted a Hertz donut.
Hey, hurts, don't it?
And
now you're dead.
The joke got out of hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, really possible. That is fantastic.
So, Lost Highway, as usual, divides everybody. Some critics call it the best film of his career. Roger Ebert gives it 1 star.
It has one of my favorite deaths of all time.
Which one?
In movies, where the guy tries to run away and goes into the glass table and it splits his head.
That's great.
So good.
Well, like I said, there's a lot to love about this movie.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, as a whole piece,
Yeah.
it doesn't work as well as something like Blue Velvet or Wild at Heart to me.
Sure.
But can you watch it and like enjoy it?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's just not the first one I would point to for people.
Right.
Okay.
This next one, though, boy, does he take he takes a U-turn for his next movie
Oh, God.
that nobody expected.
This is the one that Alejandro's making me cry, telling me about it at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was the weirdest. I look over and Kyle's crying.
Yeah.
He's like, stop telling me. And Alejandro's like, I'm just telling him about this movie. I was like, why are you crying? Ever since Kyle had this kid,
I'm soft.
very soft.
Oh, boy.
And I'm soft from all the burgers and donuts.
Hey.
Hey, not bad.
So it's called The Straight Story, and it was released in 1999. And it is about a 73-year-old guy named Alvin Straight, who he hears that his estranged brother Lyle is critically ill. And so he's also not doing so well himself, so he's not able to drive a car. So he grabs his lawnmower and goes on a journey from Iowa to Wisconsin
I know this movie.
to meet
I watched
his,
this movie.
his
Yeah.
David
brother. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Disney David Lynch movie.
And it's a hard G, as Norm MacDonald says. It's one of Norm's favorite movies.
Yeah, it's a heartwarming tale.
Oh, it's absolutely heartwarming.
Wow.
It's actually one of the most pure movies I've ever seen. It is so real.
How can one man direct The Elephant Man and then The Straight Story?
Well, also
That's crazy.
to go from Lost Highway to The Straight Story.
And
Yeah.
about 2 years different?
Yeah, 97 to 99.
Wow.
He's like, I need to chill out.
Yeah. This whole Lynch thing's getting a little crazy.
Well, it's
little
so
too weird.
Yeah, it's so authentic. Because I grew up in the Midwest, and that's where I saw it. It's actually the first Lynch movie that I saw in the theater. Me and my dad and brother went to see it, and we were floored by it.
We're Alejandro and I are both Wisconsin boys. He grew
Yeah.
up in Fond du Lac. I'm from Stevens Point. Ooh. Pretty close by.
Yeah. And so, as exaggerated as something like Fargo is, The Straight Story is the opposite. It just feels like real, like you're just a fly on the wall. And I love this quote from Lynch about it. Tenderness can be just as abstract as insanity.
Yeah.
So let's watch a clip of the great Richard Farnsworth as Alvin Straight.
Story as old as the Bible. Cain and Abel.
Oh, can you
Anger.
pause it a second?
Vanity.
Just to set the clip up, his friend is asking him what went down between him and his brother, why they didn't speak for so many years.
Story as old as the Bible. Cain and Abel. Anger. Vanity. You mix that together with liquor, you've got two brothers that haven't spoken in 10 years. Whatever it was that made me and Lyle so mad, don't matter anymore. I want to make peace. I want to sit with him, look up at the stars, like we used to do so long ago.
Now I'm going to cry.
Yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful movie.
And he was nominated for that.
Yeah, he got an Oscar nomination. So this is our next mini chapter about Richard Farnsworth. He was a stuntman most of his career. And then there's a 1983 around that time Canadian movie called The Gray Fox that he starred in out of nowhere. And he plays a bank robber, or no, excuse me, like a stagecoach robber in that. And obviously, like a long time ago, turn of the century or something. And, you know, he's not a great guy in it, but yet you love him. Like, he's lovable. And his charisma.
Like an anti-hero type?
Yeah. And he's such an expressive actor, and his charisma, it's a fascinating performance. And again, like The Straight Story, very pure. And so then he had a successful career as a character actor in Hollywood after that. In his older age, he was in The Natural with Robert Redford. He had a very memorable performance in Misery.
Yeah, he's the cop in Misery, Anderson Slade said.
Right. Which, if you know what happens to him in that movie, the fact that it's Richard Farnsworth makes it all the more shocking.
Yes, indeed.
And he was going to retire by the end of the 90s because, unfortunately, he found out that he was terminally ill with bone cancer. But the opportunity to star in this next David Lynch film came to him, and he could not pass it up.
So he was dying throughout the entire film.
Yeah, and he admired the story, so he's like, I'm going to do this. And so he surprised everybody with his tenacity during the production. And he got through it, and as you mentioned, he had an Oscar nomination.
I remember that.
And here's where we get to where Norm Macdonald comes in. So Richard Farnsworth ended up losing to Kevin Spacey that year for American Beauty.
Okay.
The Straight Story, ironically, is not the Kevin Spacey story, if you know what I mean.
There we go.
But yeah, he lost, and Norm Macdonald has a theory that if he had said he was dying, because he kept it secret, that he might have won the Oscar.
You got to use everything. You got to use all the hands you're being dealt. He's got, it's an ace in a sense where it's like one or it's an ace.
Yeah.
So, use it.
Yeah.
And here's Norm talking about that.
Richard Farnsworth was nominated for an Academy Award for the movie. And if he had said he was filled with cancer, he would have won, for sure.
Sure.
But instead, he didn't say it. And in fact, no one knew it. His family didn't know it. He kept it from everyone. And then he was a stuntman before he was an actor. He did what they call a stuntman's death, which is you put a shotgun in your mouth and with your toe, you pull the trigger and blow your head off.
Oh, my God.
And so that to me is courageous. Like, you're not being a burden to your family. They know nothing about it. And then you're gone.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
And then toe in the shotgun.
Yeah. And they write him, he wrote a nice letter to everybody, in the family and said that, he didn't want to, the reason he did it is he didn't want to cause people distress. So I thought, wow, how incredible.
I mean, it's interesting because, of course, Norm didn't let anybody know that he had cancer.
Right.
Yep.
He was very private. I will push back a little bit on one of my icons, Norm Macdonald. It also doesn't allow people to grieve.
Yeah.
And, you don't get to say your final goodbyes when the person's still alive. There's kind of because it's just so shocking.
Yeah.
Like when Norm did die, obviously I didn't know him personally, but it would have been nice just to even like publicly just be like, he's not going to be around forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of being so shocked. But I see where Norm's coming from. Although the toe on the shotgun, it's unsanitary. You see people cooking with their toes and stuff like that.
Never mind the biohazard of the brain matter and the
but
blood.
The toe, it's just, come on. Use your finger if you can.
And what if you miss?
That's just embarrassing.
Your toe is not. It's a kind of. Have you ever tried to paint with your toes?
It's ridiculous.
I mean, come on.
Toe painting. What the hell's going on in your house?
Where you hold like a brush with your toe?
Oh, sure, little toe expression.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, the stuntman's death. Because we're, thinking of the movie, like I had seen that in the theater. It was such a nice experience with my family and loved Richard Farnsworth. And that same year that he was at the Oscars, I hear that he shot himself dead. It was so shocking to me that this nice old guy did that until I read more about it. Yeah, where he was just really critically ill.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of went the Hunter S. Thompson, Kurt Cobain way out.
Oof.
And so Norm was obsessed with this notion, and he did the same thing himself. And when people would ask him, what's your favorite impression? You can see this on YouTube as well. He would always do, in his later years, Richard Farnsworth from The Straight Story.
Wow.
Nobody understood the joke. Wow. A lot of people probably hadn't even seen the movie.
That's amazing.
But he would go, I was a sniper. Where I grew up, you learned how to shoot to hunt food. And then sometimes the name of the character would change.
Yeah.
Or he would get like the facts totally wrong from the movie. His impression always changed. So R.I.P. Norm Macdonald and Richard Farnsworth.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so Lynch is riding high in 1999. He gets his first positive review from Roger Ebert.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Roger.
4 stars for The Straight Story.
Took him a while to come around.
Of course. It's whatever. I'm not.
And Lynch, of course, everyone else loved The Straight Story as well. And so Lynch has a lot of clout again, you know, like
he's back.
Yeah, he's back. He took a little break between Twin Peaks and Lost Highway. Because think of how weird that time must have been for him. The highest of highs, career-wise. And then somehow that all goes away by 1992.
Right.
Like the movie didn't do well, the show was off, and so he's like, what do I do next? He, of course, was always doing his art privately. He was, you know, if he wasn't doing it publicly, he was certainly at home painting or something. So in 1999, he wants to replicate the success of Twin Peaks.
Okay.
So he's back at ABC, and he films a pilot for a TV show called Mulholland Drive. And they hated it.
Oh,
ridiculous.
So
ironic.
they say, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. He's like, okay, fuck you. And he goes to Studio Canal Plus, and they love it.
Plus?
Yeah, plus. Or plus, however you want to say it. And they bought the rights to it. So they have this TV pilot that was shot on film. Because remember, he doesn't do TV. It's not TV. It's David Lynch.
Right.
And then they repackage it as a movie and add some additional scenes, including a whole different ending. So that becomes Mulholland Drive, the movie.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't really picture it as a TV show.
Really?
Not really. I mean, it's such a perfect movie.
Yeah, it is a perfect movie, but I can easily picture it as a TV show in the sense that there's a lot of vignettes in it.
Okay.
So it sort of matches the quality of Twin Peaks in that sense. You could imagine that continuing every week and some of those characters like the cowboy.
Sure. All right.
So it was released in 2001, and if you haven't seen it, I mean, how do you even describe it?
Pretty good.
Yeah. It's a satirical neo-noir mystery set in La La Land.
What more could you want?
That's Hollywood.
That's Hollywood, baby. And an early big role from Naomi Watts. It put her on the map. And then Laura Herring was the other star of it. They played Betty and Rita. And basically, Naomi Watts shows up, Laura Herring doesn't remember who she is in it. She got into some sort of car accident and encounters Naomi Watts, who has just moved to LA with stars in her eyes, and she wants to become an actress. So she says, oh, come live with me. And it's about their adventures.
Nothing bad can happen now.
No.
I'm the roommate in Los Angeles. Nothing bad could happen, Kato.
And there we go. We got another OJ connection.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
He was all over Lynch movies.
Perhaps.
Cutting his way in this podcast.
And the best way I can describe the meaning of Mulholland Drive, which Lynch would have told me I was wrong, he's stripping away the bright sheen of Hollywood and exploring the darkness within the industry.
Ooh.
And how the dream is far from the reality.
Yes.
Oftentimes it becomes a nightmare.
Because there's a lot of casting couch stuff in it and being chewed up and spit out, you know.
Spit on.
Uncomfortable scenes.
So this is considered his greatest film. Most people agree on that. And I would say watch this before Lost Highway.
Yes.
Like this is the one where you will either get Lynch or you won't, but this is your best shot because this is masterful.
Yeah.
There's not a wrong frame in it.
Yeah.
And he won the Best Director at Cannes and got another Oscar nomination for Best Director. Robert Altman was also nominated that year for Gosford Park. And they both lost to the guy from Happy Days.
For what movie?
Ron Howard, A Beautiful Mind.
Oh, A Beautiful Mind.
That made me so mad at the time.
I thought that movie was boring, but that's just me.
Yeah. It was okay, but come on.
Just guy didn't look so smart, but then he turned out to be smart.
Yeah, he's got triangles in his head. Floating around with numbers and stuff.
Right.
You think you're better than me?
And Mulholland Drive, this is one of those DVDs I excitedly bought at Sam Goody.
Oh, man, Sam Goody.
And I would pass this around to my friends, and they had to see this. I had to make sure everybody was exposed to David Lynch. And there's an interesting thing I noticed on the DVD menu. No chapters. Because Lynch thought you should watch the entire movie in one sitting or you won't have experienced it.
That checks out. It's a movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't lend itself to, hey, can you pause this? I'm going to go get the popcorn.
I think that plays on I don't see it as a TV series idea.
Oh, maybe. Does anyone else see it as a TV series too? Or is that just me?
I think it's above television.
That certainly is. It's above film, if you ask me.
Yes. I mean,
it transcends the genre.
You do wonder if you had a bunch of television executives muddling every week, what that thing would have turned into.
No, it wouldn't. Yeah, it would have been the same ending as Twin Peaks. But certainly whether it was TV or movie, he certainly rises above the medium, I think. So after that, he's done it all, you know? He finally got his magnum opus out there. Finally, everyone understands him. And he unofficially retires from mainstream filmmaking. And so I found this clip from his appearance on The Tonight Show. Leno asks him what he does in his free time.
Yeah, I was going to say, how does one unofficially retire?
Let's find out.
Hey, let's find out. You heard about this?
Now, what do you do in your free time?
What do you do?
Do you have some time off? Do you go on vacation?
I don't. I like to work, Jay, and
do you whittle? What do you do?
I am involved in many things, but it's not exactly work. It's painting and still photography, and I'm working on the internet. And
so what was your last vacation?
What the hell's a vacation?
I don't know.
You don't seem like a beach guy.
No, I don't go to the beach.
You don't seem like a warm climate.
You go to
guy.
the beach?
No, I went to the beach in '73.
Right.
Oh God, a bit.
I went to the nude beach. I was flying a kite, and this girl says, "Are you a comedian?" I never went back.
Hello.
When you get recognized at the nude beach, I said, "That's
He had
it.
that ready.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Can I say hello to my friend Judy?
Where's Judy? Sure.
She's a friend. Hello, Judy.
Now you see, that's right. Now who is Judy? What does she do?
She's just a friend.
Just a friend. Now you see, you're so. Is it an open-ended friend?
Yeah, open-ended.
Open-ended.
That was a reference to when he was telling Jay that Mulholland started out as a TV show, that it was left open-ended before it was a movie.
Then all I could picture is a woman bending over with her asshole.
Yeah, it kind of worked.
And if you'll recall, what was his favorite movie?
His favorite movie?
Yeah.
Jay Leno's?
No, David Lynch.
Oh, Jay Leno's. I have no idea.
We talked about it before?
Last week.
Ah, shit, I don't remember.
The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that's right.
So he says there, I'd like to say hi to Judy. That's Judy Garland he's referring to.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah, he lays little Easter eggs in his Leno interviews, too.
Judy.
Okay. Why is he creepier than all of the movies?
Yeah, it's toned down.
You talking about Leno?
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
Shannon wants to know about the blue box and what that means. It could have many meanings, but I think there's...
I think maybe that's the MacGuffin that every actress or actor is trying to get in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
How's that?
That's pretty good.
What's a MacGuffin?
That's the thing in a movie that drives the plot. That's what, like the holy...
Called the MacGuffin?
Yeah, the Holy Grail in the Indiana Jones movie. That's the MacGuffin.
Sounds like someone who scored 3 touchdowns in a high school game who doesn't shut up about it. We get it, MacGuffin. You were good once.
Sounds like a McDonald's breakfast sandwich.
Oh, that is good.
It's also what every AMC theater calls the bar at their locations. MacGuffin's bar.
Okay.
And now you know why.
Yes.
Interesting. Learning a lot.
But I think it does. Once she opens it, things change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So are you saying once she gets there, that's when, once she becomes an actress in Hollywood, that's when it goes really dark?
That's when it all goes down.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I believe
You hear that?
Yeah, I believe it.
The only thing missing from Mulholland Drive is Robert Blake.
Yeah.
So he didn't even cast him.
No, not in that one, even though he does reuse a lot of actors. That one, though, curiously doesn't really have a lot of crossover from Twin Peaks. There's no Kyle MacLachlan.
Right.
But there is a freaky-looking homeless dude.
Oh, cool.
Played by a woman.
Okay.
You'll know what I'm talking about if you watch it.
Yeah.
All right, so he's hanging out now. He's not going to the beach. Maybe he's seeing Judy. Who knows?
Who knows?
Judy Tenuta.
He creates a website aptly named davidlynch.com.
Very nice.
In the early 2000s. And there he would showcase a ton of experimental short films. He was always either painting or making a short film or writing something.
So he is staying super busy.
Yes, except just not in the sense of, mainstream credits at this point. Because after
he's not in the Hollywood system. Doesn't care.
Not at all. Because after Mulholland Drive, it's like, what do you do next? How about nothing? And then there was another project where he would call in these daily weather reports to LA radio station Indie 103.1.
What?
I love it.
And when that ran dry, he would post them on his website. And it consisted of him saying, hello, today there is a light breeze and it's partly sunny, 72 degrees. Have a beautiful day.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, can he be my the guide? My MapQuest guide?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Awesome.
Take a right.
Oops, I mean left.
Why do you always bring me to Mulholland Drive?
Oh, God.
I'm trying to go to Ralph's, damn it.
Park next to that naked woman with the red hair.
And the bloody mouth.
I haven't eaten in weeks. I need to go to Ralph's.
Why am I at wind chills?
Yeah, exactly. It's 4 a.m.
Any place can be Ralph's.
So that brings us to Inland Empire. A movie. I guess he labeled it a movie, but it's not exactly a normal movie.
It's also a part of California.
It is, and that's where he heard Laura Dern, friend and frequent collaborator. She was in Blue Velvet. He heard her saying something about driving in the Inland Empire, and ta-da! That was his next idea.
There it is. And I've been there many times. It's a loose term when it comes to empire.
Oh, for sure.
It's a lot of malls. Yeah. A lot of malls.
And yeah, I guess he had a fascination with just the, what do you call it? The greater LA area. Like,
sure.
He was isolated in his bubble in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what's going on out there?
Yeah.
Temecula. My favorite place in California so far.
Really?
Temecula.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Great.
Interesting.
Beautiful town.
No one really says that about Upland, or like Walnut.
Right.
These places that are a little more east.
Walnut, California?
Well, there's just so many places you didn't even realize existed here.
Yeah.
Especially in the Bay Area. Like, it just expands and expands.
Right.
There's
It
all
never
these
ends.
Random cities, So anyway, Inland Empire. This was a movie that it's not released in the studio system, and it's a culmination of all the short films he had been working on. So it even includes like stuff that he had started as a short film and put in this movie. So again, I wouldn't recommend this as your first exposure to David Lynch because it's over 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
Very challenging to watch. It doesn't have the look of Mulholland Drive because it was shot mainly on digital video.
Oh, okay.
So it's missing that like beauty that all his other movies had.
Yeah.
So it's pretty disjointed, but interesting experiment, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And Kyle, do you want to read this excerpt from the Badger Herald?
Okay.
Because the way David Lynch presented this, like this did not play at AMC.
Is the Badger Herald from Wisconsin?
Yes.
Okay.
So this did not play at AMC. You didn't go to McGuffin's beforehand.
No.
This is the local college paper?
Maybe.
Okay.
So
did you write this?
So
yeah.
So
is this your personal review?
Inland Empire. It's not playing next to Scary Movie 4. You know what I mean?
No.
David
Meatball
Lynch
7.
David Lynch personally took this movie around the country like a tour.
Yeah.
And so one of the stops he made was in Chicago.
Okay.
And he introduced it. So Kyle, do you want to read this?
And then it was in Chicago, and then the Badger Herald picked up on it.
This is the Badger Herald's account of that
A place
night.
you were going in 2007.
I don't know.
Interesting.
It's not about me,
So
Kyle.
this review is not yours.
It's not a
No.
review. It's kind of like a description of that evening.
Okay. On January 27th, David Lynch presented Inland Empire at the Music Box Theater in Chicago. At around midnight, he strolled onto the stage and stood in front of a bright red curtain, an image right out of Twin Peaks. After a standing ovation, the gracious host told his adoring fans that, quote, by the time the film is over, it will be time for breakfast. He proceeded to set the mood, employing an organist to play a short improvisational melody, reminiscent of the ominous scores by longtime collaborator Angelo Badalamenti. Over the music, Lynch read off a series of non sequiturs written on crumpled papers. We are the weavers of our dreams. Then the film started. The audience was fully engaged and ready for a fun ride. But by 3:30 a.m., the energy had drained. People walked out of the theater into the frigid, wintry darkness, wondering what they had just seen.
So is it bad or is it good or what is the
Yes.
Yes. The
There you
answer
go.
is yes.
Kyle figured it out.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so that was written by someone named Alejandro.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Published, baby.
I was so excited too.
That's awesome.
I'm like, nobody's writing about this.
No.
Wow, you got into the Badger Herald.
Yeah, and you know how
You did it.
we talked about how we had both seen George Carlin
Yeah.
at the Pabst. It's one of those you're like, gosh, I'm glad I made it to that.
That's awesome.
Before he died, right? Like, just you're glad that you were in the presence of George Carlin.
Yeah.
You know, I feel that way about this evening and being in the same room as David Lynch.
That's awesome.
Getting his essence, his aura.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a vibe, huh?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that I was like so excited that night and made it happen.
How do you describe yourself? I kind of like David Lynch-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of a vibe.
I like bugs and mud holes.
Yeah, basically. No, I don't kill them. I don't kill them.
No.
Only if they're dead. For some reason, there's a lot of dead bugs around me. I don't know.
And I couldn't have been more excited to be there. You know, and it was freezing that night, so it took a lot of effort even to get out of the apartment.
Yeah.
But oh my God, by 2:30, I wanted to die.
That's
I'm like,
so it
can
really
this
was like
movie just end?
Even as a huge fan, that
Oh,
sucks.
yeah, exactly. So what does that tell you?
Imagine if you were dragged there by someone you like. They were the fan and you weren't.
Right.
You'd be like, I
Oh
want
my
to kill
God.
myself.
Yeah. And you probably beforehand, the fan would be like, oh, you're going to love this movie. Because remember Mulholland Drive? Wasn't that great? Well, this was not Mulholland Drive. Thank you very much.
Did it make any sense at all?
No, none whatsoever. Even
my
less
God.
sense than Mulholland Drive. It makes Mulholland Drive look like Singing in the Rain.
Wow.
So anyway, enter at your own risk.
Yeah.
But might you throw it on while you're doing the dishes or cutting your toenails?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Taking a dump.
Yeah.
Whatever you might be doing.
Keep it going. Here.
Sure.
What else could you be doing?
You know.
All right. So the other thing that, besides making really long, weird movies and presenting it to me personally in the Midwest. He's also getting more and more into transcendental meditation. He's spreading the word.
Oh.
And in 2005, he launched the David Lynch Foundation for Conscious-Based Education and Peace.
God, it sounds like Clockwork Orange is about to take place.
It sounds like a joke when it did at the time. I remember hearing about his endeavor, and I'm like, is this for real?
Yeah.
Or is this part of his next movie? Like, he meditates? Like, it didn't make any sense. Of course, it does now, because if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Because that's David Lynch, you know? Like, he was all about that. Like, just... you know, like being one with the universe and letting the dreams talk to you, you know.
Yeah.
So the David Lynch Foundation, the goal was to promote, or it's still around actually, so to promote and fund the teaching of meditation in schools. And then later, it expanded its focus to include more at-risk populations like vets and the homeless.
Nice.
So, and prison inmates. And about TM, as it's called, Lynch says it's like a donut. Quote, you never know how sweet it is until you try it.
All right.
And here's a clip from a documentary called Meditation, Creativity, Peace, which captured one of his speeches that he gave while doing this big world tour to promote TM.
Awesome.
And really listen to this clip here because very wise words.
Let's see.
The link didn't go to it?
No.
Oh. It starts, it's that one.
Okay, here we go.
Negativity is just like darkness. And so you look at darkness and you say, wait a minute, darkness isn't really anything. It's the absence of something. So it doesn't matter how dark the night has been, when the sun comes up, automatically, without trying, the sunlight removes the darkness. Sunlight doesn't remove negativity, but this light of unity removes negativity just like sunlight removes darkness. Negativity is just the absence of that all-powerful bliss and all-powerful love, all-powerful energy, dynamic peace, harmony, coherence. You enliven that, and negativity lifts away. It can't live in that light.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, isn't that deep?
Yeah.
So you know, listening to him, it's like he's completely earnest.
Yeah.
You know, like he's,
know what I mean?
there's so many. You know what I mean, Vern? I would have loved to see them collaborate on
Oh
something.
my God.
Like Ernest Goes to Hollywood.
Gonna get in transcendental meditation, know what I mean?
Eggs erroneous.
And yeah, so the added yet another layer to David Lynch's mystique.
Yeah, very motivating.
And so with the goal of teaching TM to 1 million high-risk youths, the foundation sponsored a 2009 Change Begins Within benefit concert held at Radio City Music Hall, and it was hosted by Lynch and Laura Dern. And the speakers and performers included Sir Paul McCartney,
Nice.
Ringo Starr. Is he a sir?
I'm not sure. All I know is he has never had pizza. I learned that this week. What? Yeah, Ringo Starr said he never had pizza, and then it's been confirmed.
But he did those commercials in the 90s for Pizza Hut, remember? Crust first.
What?
Yeah, when they were promoting the stuffed crust.
Oh,
I'm starting to think you can't believe what all these Hollywood actors or
Oh,
musicians
man.
are selling.
I just find it weird to do a pizza commercial when you had never eaten pizza.
That's what he says. But now, okay, if you have evidence that he did.
So other performers and speakers, Donovan, who I saw at Summerfest once.
Oh, Summerfest in Milwaukee. Great time. I saw Lewis Black there, and I hunted him down for like a mile, and I was like, I love your work, as he was eating a hot dog.
I tried to do that with Donovan, but he was also eating a hot dog.
Was he really?
I don't know.
Everyone's eating hot dogs at the Summerfest. I'm telling you. It's a great place.
Or turkey legs.
Turkey legs are big also.
Sheryl Crow was also there. Jerry Seinfeld. What's the deal with TM? Do you transcend?
Very
Change
good.
comes from within.
Very good.
And Howard Stern. If you can believe it, he is a very famous proponent for TM.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Howard Stern.
Oh, God, I'd like to fuck that gong.
Yep. The man who brought us anal butt ring Todd.
You should sit down and
harbinger of morality all of a sudden.
have some thoughts to yourself.
Yeah, that's probably where he got all his ideas from.
Maybe
meditating.
Meditating. He's like, assholes.
Yeah.
Cornhole.
Yeah. Have this guy fart on command into a microphone.
Please do it. This is brilliant.
It's just wrong. Have father-daughter play game.
Yes.
Ugh. So, yeah, that's he got a lot of big people involved there, and they've had multiple benefit concerts through the years.
That would have been awesome to go see.
Yeah, and to
I was
date,
in New York at that time too. I could have gone.
you should have gone.
Actually, I was too.
I was
Fuck.
dead broke.
Oh, come on. I managed to get to Inland Empire in Chicago.
Wow.
You two could have gotten there.
We could have. Yeah.
And then you could have written about it in the Badger Herald.
I know. I'm a fucking loser.
If you were cool.
No.
To date, the David Lynch Foundation has raised over $100 million.
Wow.
And has taught more than 1 million people to meditate. And they've implemented meditation programs in schools and hospitals
Great.
all over this fine planet of ours.
I love that.
So let's get into his later career. Lynch wasn't making movies anymore. So what was he doing when he wasn't painting? Taking gigs as an actor.
Oh, I love it.
So he played TV producer Jack Dahl on Louie.
Wow.
Oh, yes, Louie. I watched Louie regularly, and then it would get me a little depressed, though.
Really?
I don't know why.
Why?
Yeah.
Too real?
Yeah, maybe too real.
Yeah.
After like 4 episodes in a row, I was like, I'm feeling down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did sort of, switch tones.
A little
like
bit.
that, yeah. Whereas it'd be funny and then sometimes just depressing.
Really sad.
Yeah. So he also played the bartender on the Cleveland show.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And he voiced himself on Family Guy.
Wow.
So let's listen to that.
We now return to How David Lynch Stole Christmas.
Hello, I got you a present. It's a thumb. Don't look away. Let the fear wash over you.
I don't understand.
That's the whole point. Now, did you leave a plate of black coffee out for me?
No?
In the future, please leave a plate of black coffee out for me. Also in the past.
That's
A
hilarious.
plate.
Yeah.
I love it. He's going to lap it up like a cat.
So David Lynch now is a beloved icon.
Mm-hmm.
And he is just in the culture. Isn't that interesting? Like, there's few directors you can truly say that become an adjective. Lynchian.
Yeah.
Right.
Anytime something's kind of weird in a movie, like, oh, that's like David Lynch meets Die Hard.
Yeah. Lynch did it.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess Tarantino to some degree, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so we were talking about, how Twin Peaks became a pop culture sensation. So I thought right now it'd be fun to look at a couple examples of him being parodied.
Awesome.
So this is a clip from The Simpsons.
Beautiful.
Who Shot Mr. Burns episode.
Oh, God. So good. You had to wait so long to find out who did it.
The whole summer.
Oh, that was infuriating.
L-E freedom. L-E the truth. This here burns better. Look.
Huh?
Better. Look. Burns you.
I'm not following you.
Look at Burns' suit. Yeesh.
I had an idea, Chief. Why don't we check out that suit Burns was wearing when he got shot? Did you have the same backwards talking theme with the flaming cards?
I'll drive.
And I thought that was funny as a kid. Little did I know.
I had no idea
that it's a spot-on spoof of Twin Peaks. And so the next one is a clip from Jiminy Glick's movie.
Oh
my
God. I love Jiminy Glick, dude.
Jiminy Glick in Lalawood.
He's so good.
And he plays both Jiminy and David Lynch.
Oh, man.
Excuse me, do you work for the hotel?
No. I'm David Lynch. I'm a director. Well, who isn't here? And I bet you have a treat. As a matter of fact, I do. I like the idea of a dark road. For I know that the darkness is like a magnet to madness. The story I'm creating is a mystery dipped and drowning in despair. It involves a small-time celebrity interviewer.
I would kill to hear the rest of it. But they're doing a retrospective on Joey Travolta on E! On the Siblings of Celebrity series. And I'm gonna buggy with myself on this one frame. Okie dokie.
That's incredible.
Okie dokie.
Jiminy Glick is one of the funniest characters
Oh,
ever.
my God. The
Talk
best.
about another national treasure.
We've talked about him a lot on this
Absolutely.
show.
And Martin Short
Yeah.
gave us Jiminy Glick and Clifford.
Clifford and Pure Luck.
Right.
Remember that movie with Donald Glover? Danny Glover?
Danny Glover.
Not Donald Glover.
Too old for this shit.
I've met a couple of times. Very talented.
Yeah, with the bee sting.
Oh, it's the funniest
You know
thing.
what? That's crazy you mentioned that. True trivia here. Fact is that movie inspired Jiminy Glick because
Did it?
when he gets stung by the bee,
Yeah, got the makeup?
the fat makeup, that's when he got the idea to be a fat character.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow.
It all comes together.
It all does.
And that brings us to 2017 when David Lynch unleashed Twin Peaks: The Return.
Dum bum boom.
So this was huge because
Yes.
sure, there was Inland Empire, but really, you haven't seen a real movie from this guy since Mulholland Drive in 2001.
Wow.
Like the Twin Towers were still standing
Yep.
when people first saw Mulholland Drive.
Wow.
And so now we have David Lynch and Mark Frost coming together again. They pitched the new series to Showtime by showing them just the first 2 hours of the script. And they had a bunch of notes. And so it was originally supposed to be 9 episodes, but it later doubled to 18 episodes.
Wow.
And they viewed it as one long movie. And what a movie it is. Wow. It's as challenging as Inland Empire and Lost Highway.
Wow.
And makes even less sense than the original Twin Peaks. And yet it still has some of his best work in it.
Wow.
Because even if you're not vibing, as you like to say,
I was
Ben,
just going to say, this show is a vibe.
with the entire thing, you will certainly find little vignettes or episodes that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And of course, an outstanding cast and the whole works, directing, the music, the writing.
Right.
So again, I cannot recommend this to just the layman, like if you want an intro to David Lynch. But if you're already on board, like obviously it's amazing. And 39 actors from the original series returned. And David Bowie, who played Agent Jeffries in the movie Fire Walk with Me, was all set to reprise his role, but died before it could happen. Because he died in very early 2016.
That was a sad one.
Oh, I hated that one.
Yep.
There are ones like we talked about that just sting.
I watched Labyrinth that day.
Really? Yeah, that's an amazing Magic Dance.
He's awesome. David Bowie's phenomenal.
That's legit one of my favorite Bowie songs too. Is that cool?
Fine. You're allowed it. I'm not sure what other people...
Not cool.
Fine.
So
he had a lot of dance. He had some dance moments in his life.
He did, but not in the new Twin Peaks series. And we have Catherine Coulson returning as the log lady. Remember, she was married to Jack Nance at one point, and unfortunately, she died during production.
Oh,
but
how did
she die? She had cancer. Everyone knew her time was limited, so Lynch filmed her in 2015 before she died, way before the series premiered. That was probably one of the first things that he shot. So she was able to appear in multiple scenes in multiple episodes. And then we have Miguel Ferrer, who played Agent Rosenfeld, the kind of sarcastic FBI agent. And he died after production, but before the broadcast.
Wow.
Yeah, and this guy, like, you've seen him in a million things. He's in one of my favorite movies, Hot Shots Part Deux. And he was in the movie Traffic. I believe he was on NCIS in his final years, or one of those shows, like CSIs. And great actor. George Clooney's cousin as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so... And then Harry Dean Stanton, who plays the manager of the Fat Trout Trailer Park, died shortly after the final episode aired after a long, storied career.
Wow.
So, according to David Lynch... Oh, yeah, actually, here's a quote from David Lynch about this project. On the first Twin Peaks, doing TV was like going from a mansion to a hut. But the art houses are gone now, so cable television is a godsend. They're the new art houses.
Wow.
So he had a total flip on television.
Yeah. And he considers this the best experience of his career.
That's fantastic.
2017?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. And the Cahiers du Cinéma chose this as the best film of the decade, even though it's a TV series.
That's amazing.
That's what I'm saying. He transcends the medium.
Right.
It doesn't matter. This is art.
Yeah.
By all accounts, it was very well received. Obviously, it's confounding and it's really abstract.
I think it's very fun not to overthink it.
Exactly. You just have to experience it.
Experience it and sit in it. It's it's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, I'm explaining him too much. Like, obviously, most people are just like, oh, yeah, it's great. Yeah. Because you got Matthew Lillard in there, too.
I don't know what happened.
In the series?
In Twin Peaks: The Return.
Yeah, but you watched it.
Yeah, I watched it.
Exactly.
I still don't know what happened.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. Yeah. And yet there's a million videos on YouTube explaining what happened.
Yeah.
And they're different.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different, which is perfect.
They're all wrong.
And
all right.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's cool. That's what you call going out with a bang.
Yeah.
Because it brought him right into his twilight years. And I'm not talking about the hit franchise.
Ooh.
I literally mean his twilight years.
Okay.
So he slowed down after the Twin Peaks revival, but continued to paint and smoke.
Okay. I'm happy he didn't give up smoking.
I think the only things in life for him that don't...
So I told you about that documentary Lynch/Oz that explored how the Wizard of Oz is in every one of his movies. Mm-hmm. Well, here's a little snippet where they're talking about his view of smoking.
I think the only things in life for him that don't have an evil doppelganger are probably coffee and meditation. Coffee. Even cigarettes and Wild at Heart are this constant threat, and everybody knows David Lynch loves cigarettes.
And here's a clip from Twin Peaks: The Return of him acting in it.
Whoa!
he takes he takes a drag. Whoa!
So he loves cigarettes.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, and what was his? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that he plays Agent Cole in the Twin Peaks series, and he did in the original. and he did in the revival.
Whoa!
And he says "whoa" really loud because he's hard of hearing. So he has these ridiculous hearing aids, and he talks like this because he can't hear anything.
It's so funny.
And everyone, the first time around in the original series, like, wow, like David Lynch is acting here.
Yeah.
Like you just didn't expect to see him in his movie suddenly.
So he's got the second variation of the "whoa" catchphrase because Joey Lawrence had "whoa, whoa."
Oh, yeah, that's true. He brought back "whoa." And didn't Matt LeBlanc have some sort of rip-off of "whoa"?
Maybe.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, maybe there was a little whoa in Friends.
Yeah. Woe is me. We don't move on to the next part, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wanted to take a second to talk about his multiple marriages. So speaking of his acting career, he did do a random movie in the late 80s with Isabella Rossellini, who starred in Blue Velvet.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also dated.
Okay.
Whoa.
Afterwards, while he was still married.
Oh.
Controversial.
Yeah. So he was married 4 times, even though marriage probably wasn't for him.
Yeah.
So
I mean, probably. I think it's definitively proven not to be for him.
Yeah, when you cheat on every single one of your wife.
Yeah, I guess that's very good evidence.
Can you imagine him though, just explaining like what is cheating?
Yeah,
like it would just be so inferior to be like, just get out of here, David.
Leave.
I know you fucked another. Just go. There's no deeper meaning to this.
Or when it came time to read his vows at the ceremony.
Oh my Lord!
The wind is all around us. Like, David, it's been an hour. Can you get on with it?
You take her to be your wife, and he goes, "Sure."
For now.
Till I change my mind.
So he wrote this autobiography called Room to Dream, and this is where he admitted that he cheated on all his wives. Quote, his first wife was Peggy, who he divorced during the making of Eraserhead. So, quote, one day Peggy told me that she was pregnant, and one thing led to another, and we got married. The only thing I remember about our wedding is that Jack Nance wore a taxi cab driver shirt to it. I loved Peggy, but I don't know that we would have gotten married if she hadn't been pregnant, because marriage doesn't fit into the art life. You'd never know. You'd never know I think that, though, because I've been married 4 times.
I love how he says one thing led to another and we got married. That's never been how that sentence ends. So I was like, one thing led to another and we're naked in the backseat of the car.
No, romantic.
Yeah.
That's pure romance. Yeah, one thing led to another. We got married.
Well, like his movies, he did it backwards. They had the kid first.
Yeah.
So after Peggy, he married his best friend's sister, Mary Fisk, sister to Jack Fisk, who funded Eraserhead and is married to Sissy Spacek.
Yes.
And then Lynch moved on to longtime collaborator Mary Sweeney. By the way, it was when he was with Mary Fisk, that's when he cheated with Isabella Rossellini.
Oh, okay.
So then he moved on to longtime collaborator Mary Sweeney. Among other things, she edited Twin Peaks, she produced Lost Highway, she wrote the script for The Straight Story.
And you're saving money. You got 2 Marys in there. The his and hers towels can stay.
Yeah, the thing with Mary and Judy.
Interesting.
And so him and Sweeney dated for nearly 20 years before finally tying the knot in 2006. And then they divorced in 2007.
Sometimes just date.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people are great with just dating.
20 years.
Incredible to date for 20 years and be married for 1 year. Like, we tried things out, it didn't work.
Like that joke Chris Rock made about Nelson Mandela's wife, who they got divorced after he left prison.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I liked you from afar, but Nelson, you're annoying as hell.
Right. Then he married actress Emily Stoffel in 2009, or Stoffel, however you pronounce that.
Stoffel. We're in America.
Okay.
Let's go with Stoffel. We make everything sound like it's just about to be stuffed.
It is Stoffel. So their union lasted an eternity for Hollywood. finally fizzling out in 2023 when she filed for divorce. So how long is that? That's like
14 years.
14 years. Yeah, and that's eternity for him too.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
Because him and Mary Sweeney only had not even a year.
Right.
You know, maybe she saw Inland Empire and it just destroyed it for her.
It could have been. Yeah, this was what you were working on the whole time. It's like the end of The Shining when she finally reads the book.
Yeah.
This is trash. You abandon your family 19 hours a day for this movie?
So they had one child together named Lula in 2012, and she was named after Laura Dern's character in Wild at Heart.
Oh, very cute.
And during the divorce, Emily requested full custody.
I'm sure David wasn't super upset.
Yeah.
Maybe he was.
His kids said he was not a traditional dad.
He doesn't strike me as a guy that catches feelings.
In a traditional sense.
He catches ideas.
Yeah.
Not feelings.
I don't want to see him pontificate over a dirty diaper. Just change it, David.
Look, David, they don't like the mud hole. Stop making them go into it.
I dug it for them.
It's like clay. Just feel it between your fingers. Dad, I'm going to go play Nintendo now.
Can I just play football like every other kid, please? Why would you want to do that?
So he ended up having one kid with each wife. With Peggy, he had Jennifer Lynch, who became a filmmaker herself.
Okay.
And her big movie was Boxing Helena, which was very controversial. Just
I don't know.
Google it.
Okay.
It's the one where Kim Basinger was set to star in it, then dropped out and had to pay millions of dollars for breaking the contract.
Oh, wow.
Why did she drop out?
Because the movie is crazy. It's about a guy that kidnaps this woman he's obsessed with and then cuts off her limbs and puts her in a box.
Oh,
Hence,
I've seen that now.
The title, Boxing Helena.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's her at the end of the film there. Yeah, so that's not nice.
No.
Beautiful actress.
Yeah, that's Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks.
Yes.
So, yeah.
There's Jennifer Lynch. Oh, 56 now. Good for her.
And then he had a son named Austin with Mary Fisk. And then he had a son named Riley with Mary Sweeney.
I will say she looks just like him. Jennifer.
Oh, yeah. And then the sons, they have done their own art projects through the years, and David Lynch would work on those with them. So they definitely bonded over their love of, experimental film and art.
I think he'd be a great father to adult children.
Oh, yes, exactly. So, yeah, they all loved him to death. So it just, he wasn't the conventional Leave It to Beaver. So,
well, thank God. You don't want to see the deleted scenes of Leave It to Beaver. A lot of abuse.
Leave it to the mud hole. And speaking of mud holes, let's get to the pandemic.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So the endless chain of cigarettes finally caught up with him. And in 2020, Lynch was diagnosed with emphysema. Which, it's a chronic lung condition that you can't breathe.
Right.
That sucks.
It's horrifying.
Also known as COPD, caused by lifetime of smoking.
And we covered this on OK Bud. They also say he was slightly dehydrated.
Yeah, that was one of the causes.
He was parched.
Yeah, so he was a little thirsty at the end, too.
Just get him a Gatorade.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
Could have saved his whole life.
His blood is coffee.
So,
truly. Coffee and cigarettes.
They say that life imitates art. So let's see this scene from The Straight Story.
Oh, boy.
When the doctor is talking to Alvin Straight before his lawnmower ride.
Yes.
And hear that you smoke. My guess is you're in the early stages of emphysema. And Alvin, you have circulation problems, and I'm worried about your diet. If you don't make some changes quickly, there will be some serious consequences.
Damn.
Wow.
And he's telling it to a guy who already heard that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right.
And that was true. And did he make those changes? No.
No.
That change.
But he did make the change to stop drinking.
Yeah, that was many years
right
before that. But he didn't stop smoking until 2 years after he was diagnosed. until the moment where he could not physically move without gasping for air.
Oh,
that sucks.
Yeah.
Sad.
Despite that, though, during the pandemic, he relaunched his daily weather reports. And the last one was posted in December 2022. And why don't we take a listen?
Let's do it.
Good morning. It's December 16, 2022. And if you can believe it, it's a Friday once again. Here in LA, a cloudy morning. Quite a breeze blowing right now. 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius. Today I was thinking about the song The World Spins. And I believe it was mine and Angelo and Julie's favorite song we did together. And I think it's from the year 1987, maybe 86, 87, somewhere in there. This afternoon it'll be going up to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 20 Celsius, and it looks like partly cloudy all along the way. Everyone, have a great day.
Partly cloudy with a chance of meatballs for.
Hey.
Wow, but you can hear him struggling.
Yeah, it sounds partly cloudy in his lungs.
Oh,
jeez.
But yeah.
So funny, though.
No, I know, and so upbeat still. And there's also some poignancy there because he mentions Julie Cruz, the singer from Twin Peaks, and Angelo Badalamenti, his longtime collaborator as the composer, like some of the best music in cinema, if you ask me, the scores he created. Well, both Julie and Angelo died in 2022. So they were already gone when he filmed this last weather report.
Wow.
And in fact, actually 2022, a lot of people from Twin Peaks died coincidentally.
Yeah.
Including Julie Cruz, Angelo Badalamenti, David Warner, Al Strobel, Lenny Van Dolen, and Kenneth Walsh, all actors from Twin Peaks.
Wow.
Yeah, they got lucky not to see the shit show that was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And another final thing in 2022 was his last on-screen movie appearance. He played director John Ford in Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans.
Spielberg.
See, they are Jewish in that one.
Yes, they are.
And of David Lynch's casting, Steven Spielberg said it was one of his heroes playing one of his heroes.
Okay.
So, Kyle, isn't that kind of nice?
That's pretty cool.
I thought John Ford, wasn't he notoriously racist? Didn't he make Birth of a Nation or something? Was that John Ford?
No!
What? Who was
that? Was D.W. Griffith.
What do I know? I'm not supposed to be smart on this show.
He made The Searchers.
Okay.
But yes, in some of his movies, John Wayne is trying to kill Indians. So, you know, you take the good with the bad.
Okay.
And Steven Spielberg, you know, maybe has done some questionable things. We're not sure. Nothing confirmed.
Well, if Kyle has it his way.
Someone requested that Kyle go off on Spielberg again. So here you go, Kyle. Here's your mic.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Oh,
wow,
listen to him.
Changed. Wow, that's growth. That's
you should have heard the Poltergeist episode. He's like, Spielberg is a pedophile.
He is a pedophile. He's going down. He's got to be exposed.
Whoa.
I actually regret encouraging him now.
The truth will come to light.
Yeah, David Lynch hid an Easter egg in his cameo, maybe.
An Easter egg up his ass.
E.T. doesn't like finger.
Ouch.
So, starting in 2023, David Lynch was involuntarily homebound. And he required a supplemental oxygen machine just to stand up. But he stayed optimistic, and He even entertained the idea of directing a movie remotely one day, which might have been interesting had it happened.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been worse than Inland Empire.
According to you.
That, it looks like it was directed by a Zoom call. No, it's not a bad thing. It's cool. Okay?
You're fighting with yourself. Alejandro now is fighting with Alejandro then.
David Lynch vowed to never retire. In August 2024, he publicly revealed his condition, emphysema, and a month later he made his final public appearance, period, via Zoom for the Meditate America Gala. And here's his speech.
So it's a private appearance that went public.
Oh,
because he's in his own house.
Oh well, no, yeah, but it was shown to everybody. Yeah. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I hope you all are enjoying a wonderful night. I'd like to talk a little bit about nothing. And this nothing is the transcendent. It's the unified field. It's no hyphen thing. It's pure consciousness. Tonight you've probably heard a lot about consciousness is all there is. And I've heard many talks Maharishi would sometimes refer to this transcendent as nothing. But it has the potential for everything.
I like that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Death he's talking about.
Right. And that was right around the corner.
Mhm.
And he sounds okay in that one. Like the
does
other
sound
one,
okay, yeah.
he sounded like Darth Vader.
Right. Yeah.
And this one, he sounds like Anakin Skywalker.
Right.
So it's like maybe he thought he was getting better too.
Yeah.
So Lynch opened up to People magazine of all all things.
Such a basic magazine for him to do the tell-all.
In a way, it's fitting with the sort of the kitsch of Americana that he loved.
Yeah.
So he did an interview with them in November 2024, and he said, "What you sow is what you reap," and that his illness was a big price to pay for something that brought him so much joy, which was smoking. Quote, "I don't regret it. It was important to me. I wish what every addict wishes for, that what we love is good for us. I never thought about it as glamorizing it. It was a part of life. Some characters would be smokers just like in real life."
Mm-hmm.
And while he doesn't regret smoking, he hoped that, and while he didn't regret smoking, he hoped that other smokers could take him as an example. Quote, "I really wanted to get this across. Think about it. You can quit these things that are going to end up killing you. I owe it to them and to myself to say that."
Yeah.
Wow.
But he may not fully mean that because he admitted it brought him a lot of joy.
Yeah.
So he understands that a lot of other people, it brings him a lot of joy too.
And would he have created the same art without it? I don't think so.
Who knows?
Oh.
In his final days, Lynch could hardly walk across his bedroom. He described the feeling as having a plastic bag wrapped around his head.
Oh.
Jesus.
Much like Laura Palmer.
Yes.
In January 2025, Lynch was evacuated from his Hollywood home due to the wildfires. And these events preceded a sharp decline in his health. And sadly, he died from complications of emphysema at his daughter's home on January 16th, age 78.
Wow.
It's already been a month?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
And what a way to go. Like, that must have been so unsettling to see the land he loved possibly burning down.
Everything got smoked up.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Just as much a nightmare as anything in his movies.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was such a crazy day, too, because he died the same day that Bob Uecker died.
Right.
So this
Oh,
is
yeah, that was
just a weird day.
two very different people,
Yeah.
but two very speaking of Americana,
Mm-hmm.
Bob
Yeah.
Uecker and David Lynch represent two different sides of America.
And personal
But
for us,
I love
the Milwaukee Brewers.
Absolutely.
And he's from Milwaukee, Euchre. And
They're both
they
American originals.
American originals, and they both had a wicked sense of humor.
So funny. Just a bit outside.
Yeah. So Lynch's family released a statement, quote, "It is with deep regret that we, his family," that's so formal, "that we, his family," you guys are like, don't make fun of them.
What? What are they supposed to say?
I don't know. Does
Who
that
gives
sound-
a fuck? Dad's
isn't
dead.
that a little stiff? Like, yeah, we know you're the family. You know?
Yeah, but
Okay,
it's
anyway.
a press release.
I'm trying out a new bit. Anyway,
It's called Blame the Family.
Making fun of mourning families.
I'm seeing
This
what
is a little fancy, isn't it, you losers?
It's a good new bit.
I'm seeing what sticks, like when you throw spaghetti at the wall.
Yes.
Okay, or 4 meatballs.
Throw families in.
Yes.
All right, let's do this again. Statement from the family. "It is with deep regret that we, his family, announce the passing of the man and the artist, David Lynch. We would appreciate some privacy at this time."
Who are these assholes that want some privacy at this time?
There's a big hole in the world now that he's no longer with us.
Absolutely.
But as he would say, keep your eye on the donut and not on the hole.
I'm going to remember that. Keep your eye on the donut, not on the hole. I love that.
And a death certificate from the LA County Department of Public Health revealed that Lynch died from cardiac arrest due to chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or dehydration.
Oh, poor
A
guy.
little bit of both.
Yeah. I'm a little parched. Oh, my
And
God.
now we've done it. We have completed the story of David Lynch.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
And that
What a-
brings us to final thoughts.
Yes.
What a life. It's an amazing. We're very blessed to have had him in our existence, in our short time here on Earth.
Yeah.
David Lynch, an icon, and I love not knowing. I love that he lets people sit in not knowing, and that's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very fun, and it's different than the MCU.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
David Lynch is a true artist.
Yeah.
And that's what makes his movies stand the test of time.
Right.
Because they're not easy to define and they almost demand rewatching. And you certainly can rewatch them again and again. Like when it's been a few years, I'll revisit Wild at Heart, or I can watch Twin Peaks all over again and find new things in it.
It's a choose your own adventure in a way.
Yeah, really.
I think the Log Lady did it.
Oh.
Just like Ted Bundy.
Kyle, what are your thoughts?
I mean, this was an amazing foray into the life and death of David Lynch, and I'm actually sad that I haven't seen the majority of his work. So I'm definitely going to go back and watch Twin Peaks and report back to you guys and everybody else what part I'm at and where the hell my brain is at.
I thought Laura Palmer was pretty hot.
Yeah.
The review from Kyle Plouffe is in. Yeah, she's kind of a babe. I went to kill her.
Yeah. I studied Mulholland Drive in college, and Lost Highway I saw from you recently, so I was kind of familiar with his work.
But you didn't know what to make of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't one you were immediately praising. You were like, yeah, we watched it.
Yeah, yeah. I loved when his head got split by the coffee table.
That's a good review.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought of another connection in Lost Highway. It also features the actor Michael Massey, who shot Brandon Lee on the set of The Crow accidentally. Like it was not his fault. He's the unfortunate guy that had the
It was a live
dummy
round.
bullet,
Yeah.
in his gun.
Yeah,
And,
haunted him for life.
So he's actually in that same scene with Robert Blake. He's the host of the party.
Yeah.
So another interesting little connection there.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There is. There definitely is in the Lynch verse.
David Lynch casting is just like, have you killed anybody?
Yeah.
We're looking to cast.
Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't cast OJ in it.
That would have been something.
You know? Because there's the thing they call stunt casting. Like John Waters always put, what's her name? Patty Hearst in
Patty
all
Hearst,
his movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so do we think that the smoking, like, was it worth it? Like, he had a good life, right?
Yes.
The only one who could determine that is him, and he said pretty much yes.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, everyone's got something.
Yeah.
Right, that's true.
Do what
We
makes
all-
you happy because we're all going to go anyway.
Yeah, we're already. I mean, who knows? Maybe if he wasn't smoking, he would have taken a left instead of a right because he didn't have to go to the cigarette store.
Yeah.
And then we got hit by a car. I don't know. Who
Yeah.
knows? It is what it is.
It is.
Yeah, we're all part of this consciousness.
Yes.
And sometimes we take diverting paths.
And he's still around. He's still.
Yes.
He's probably just heard you criticize his family for mourning wrong.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Alejandro.
We the family. We know it's the family. I'm reading this.
And you.
It's a little formal, isn't it? We the family.
And I saw you get up during Inland Empire to go to the bathroom. So you did not see it. All right, well, do you hear that?
Oh, I think I do.
You've got mail.
Okay. We got a few good reviews here. The reviews are in.
Nice.
And they are good.
Oh, good.
Let's see. Jane Doe was talking about, commented on our first David Lynch episode saying, I remember how you guys are fellow Lynch fans, especially Alejandro, from the Jack Nance episode.
Nice.
I wondered if you would do an episode on Lynch, and I'm so happy that you did. Thank you for another great episode. If you're looking for any future episode ideas, please consider doing one on Dorothy Stratton, which is something that you've talked about before.
A Playboy episode
Yes,
is definitely in the works.
Kyle was talking about it yesterday. I looked it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
20 years old. Crazy.
Not a Banjo.
We got Jane Doe and then Not a Banjo.
Yeah. Really great episode. I've been bummed ever since he stopped doing his daily YouTube show, and then obviously the real blow of his death. Any excuse to go back and watch his stuff, though, I suppose, especially his groundbreaking role in the Cleveland show. You did a great job capturing him. Can't wait for part 2. So,
well, I hope you enjoyed part 2.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, there was a lot to learn here. Let's see. Love the episode. I'm a fan of David Lynch, but still learned a lot about him and in his career. Ben K on the episode is a bonus.
Thank you.
Oh, for sure.
Great
Yes.
to be joining the team.
And that was from Zom,
Yes.
short for zombie, I think.
Oh, there we go.
And we got a very nice email from Vanessa, who is a super fan of OK Bud.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank you, Vanessa.
Do you have that? It's right here on the sheet.
Oh, yeah, okay. Vanessa said, not going to lie, I wouldn't have found you guys if Ben Kissel hadn't been a guest on the show. And I only have one issue with the podcast.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God. The issue, I didn't find it sooner.
Thank God. Oh, the internet giveth and taketh.
Yeah, I'm constantly laughing, literally out loud at work, and have to remind myself of 2 things. I'm not alone in the room, and death shouldn't be that funny. But it can be.
It can. We're all, as Kyle said, we're all facing it.
Yes.
Every day.
Now that Ben has joined Die, when are we going to get some Alejandro on OK Bud?
I'll make
Hey.
a cameo at some point.
Absolutely.
His jokes are the best. Thanks for the laughs and keep the great entertainment coming. Vanessa, P.S. I would love to hear you guys tell the Timothy Treadwell story.
That's another one that's on, what do you call it, on deck.
Yeah.
Yep. These Hollywood people keep on dying. The show is going to last forever.
Yes. Anderson Slade, we got some comments here. If you haven't heard, we do all the live broadcasting for OK Bud and Death and Entertainment on patreon.com/diebud because we are joining forces, 2 podcasts, 1 Patreon.
Joining forces, much like the Backstreet Boys and New Kids on the Block.
Yes.
Hey, wow. We could compare to those guys all the time.
Yes. Anderson Slade says his Dune was superior.
Yes.
Wow.
I guess
A lot
it's
of people.
a hot take.
Yeah. I'm finding more and more through the years people are sort of liking Lynch's Dune.
Yeah. Shannon saying, Handro, watch Bottom of the World and let me know if you think it's Lynchian.
Okay.
Kelsey saying, you guys are hilarious. Thank you so much. Anna saying, interesting. Personally, I don't want to like the new Dune, but Dune 2 just turned me, and now I love them.
Oh, okay. Well, that's allowed too. You can like it.
I like things.
Especially since David Lynch really didn't feel a connection to his Dune anyway.
Yeah.
He doesn't even call it his movie.
No.
Vanessa, we just read her email. She also was telling us in this episode that she was recently diagnosed with COPD.
Oh.
She said it's no joke. Was recently diagnosed, but it can be managed.
Okay.
That's good.
I hope you're feeling better.
Yes.
soon.
Hang in there, Vanessa. That's
Yeah, we love you.
Yeah. And we certainly had our issues with breathing last summer and into
All last year.
Yeah, all last year basically. So I can, like it's no joke. It's really terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
we are just getting over the whooping cough we got last year.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
So I'm just wishing good health for everybody.
Everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Is
What
that-
else, Ben? What do we got? Anything else to?
Well, we're doing Okay Bud. You can watch those on YouTube. They'll be out 2 weeks after the Patreon sees them. So obviously it's still Patreon exclusive, so it's worth the $10 a month. And yeah, just Okay Bud. We're loving it. And at some point, we'll probably do some live shows.
Yeah.
I don't know, around the California area. So,
Yes.
but yeah,
You got to get out, see the people in person.
Yeah, super excited to be back and doing what I love the most, which is broadcasting and podcasting. And thank you all so much for your support over this time.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll have some more fun ahead.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We good? Hail yourselves. We'll talk to you soon.
And until next week.
Don't go dying on us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.